Back here to TRB Trackside too, and a really sad note overnight with the passing of the stallion great OReilly, just one of my absolute favourite racehorses, and what he achieved at Stud was phenomenal. We welcome into TRB Trackside Garry Chittick, stud master at Waikato Stud. He's travelling the car, so really appreciate him giving us the time. And I think Gary might be in the passenger seat as well, so we might be able to get a word from both of them. Mark, yeah, tragic news, OReilly, but he lived to a ripe old age, and geez, his progeny performing. He's just a great all-round racehorse.
Yeah, he certainly was, Aidan, and obviously when we bought Waikato Stud, he was a foal, so he's been with us all the way through. We've reared him, we've raced him, we've been through the highs and lows with him, and you know, let's face it, there's a whole lot more highs than there was lows, and you know, he's created history, and we're just very fortunate to be part of all that, and very fortunate to have had a horse like that. You know, what he's achieved, and obviously you know, the stud and our profile, success, and everything. It is where it is right now because of a lot of work by OReilly.
Okay, Mark, what do you sort of see as his main legacy?
Probably, you know, he was very varied and widespread. You know, he could leave a top 2-year-old. He could leave a top, or you know, a horse that raced through to 6 or 7, or whatever. He could leave fillies. He could leave colts. He could leave sprinters. He left Melbourne Cup place getters. He's a wonderful broodmare sire. So I think it was just the versatility. He's won international awards. So it was his versatility, and yeah, it was his immense success rate. You know, like the 79 odd, so nearly 80 odd stakes winners, and nearly 20 Group 1 winners. You know, all of those sorts of things. He's the third highest stakes producing horse ever to stand in New Zealand behind Sir Tristram and Zabeel. So you know, all of those things that taken into account, he was obviously a serious animal, and he was extremely successful.
I guess another facet of any horse, be they a great racehorse or a great stallion, is the temperament and what they like to deal with. What was OReilly like?
He was fantastic, Aidan. He really had a great attitude. He was a seriously intelligent horse. He was a good mate. You know, he really was a good mate. But he's just wonderful to work with. He had real character. Super intelligent and real character. So at the end of the day, you know, you really can't come across any better than him. The way he handled himself around the farm, in the barn, everywhere. Those that handled him, you know, we've all been at the farm this morning. We've all had a champagne with him. I've had texts and phone calls and everything from all over the world, which is really extremely appreciated. But you know, the guys from the stallion area there, they're extremely cut up because they work with him every day, and he was just an absolute beauty.
He sure was, Mark. We're just having a look at some of his race footages from TV. Obviously, you won't be able to see this, but his Bayer Classic win and his great win in the Telegraph. I know we've talked about him being a super sire, but just he had that phenomenal acceleration as a racehorse, didn't he?
Incredible turn of foot. He really did. You know, Lance used to say when he gave him a squeeze, when he said, "Right, let's go," he said it was an incredible feeling. And you know, DJ was out there this morning, and you know, he said from the day that he finished his racing, when he unfortunately injured his suspensory, you know, each time he came and saw him, and he said it again today. He said we never saw the best of him, and he could have been the best horse that he ever trained.
Exactly. The horse was part of a going concern when you took over Waikato Stud. It's amazing how these things fall in together, that you know, you didn't sell the horse, he stayed with you. It seemed to be almost like fate that he was going to be part of the Waikato Stud story right through.
Yeah, well, that's what happens in life, isn't it? Fortunately and unfortunately, but certainly fortunately with OReilly, and you know, Garry and I have been talking on while we've been in the car about the various sort of approaches that we've had throughout the years to buy him, etc. And as I say, those ups and downs. But goodness me, he's given us a whole lot of ups and a massive amount of enjoyment. And on the back of that enjoyment, the odd hangover, I can tell you.
Yeah, exactly. Mark, if Garry is there, we might just bring you in. Garry, just tell us what O'Reilly meant to you.
Oh, we're very fortunate. I mean, he was the fall when we bought the place, and you're aware of all the stories that went with it. But I mean, I'd been around Europe just prior to that looking for stallion prospects with Patrick Hogan and David Benjamin and Joe Walls. And when I came back, I said to Mark, it was Augustus, we really shouldn't be selling this horse. Well, as fate turned out, we didn't. And to race a horse that became New Zealand Horse of the Year, when he won the Telegraph, Dave O'Sullivan, it wasn't there. He said to me, nothing will beat him. And it's first time, not many times a trainer says that to you, and nothing did beat him. We kicked him off at $7.5 grand. I don't know, we probably get 100 mares to start with, and he's earned his way. He didn't step into it. He's earned his way, and he's had his critics on the way, but he had Final Destination, his first crop. And as Mark said earlier on, I mean, a horse that can lead Newmarket winners, Caulfield Cup winners. Danny O'Brien was on the phone earlier on. He just said, well, he's had Shamrock, or he's had Master O'Reilly, Sam Express. He said, like the versatility of the horse is amazing. And now, Ange tells us today that there are 5 Group 1 winners out of his broodmares this racing year alone. Well, I mean, that's phenomenal. I mean, that's just so. I think the legacy for us, we're fortunate we've got a lot of his daughters. And you've got to remember, too, he's got a crop to sell this year. He's got a crop on the ground. He's got a crop in the valley. So he's got a long way to go. And I'm sure that we'll be identifying more fillies to keep. We're very fortunate we've got Sacred Falls to return and hopefully partially fill his shoes, if not fully fill them. But so we're lucky to have that to carry on with. And we're excited about having that to carry on with,
Yeah, exactly. You're speaking about just the legacy through the broodmares, but he is actually starting to make his mark as a sire of stallions as well. You talk about Sacred Falls coming to Waikato Stud, but I think we've got a few others. Alamosas on the ground, and Sham Express. That's another one, isn't it? There are a few that are starting to emerge as stallions themselves.
Yeah. Look. I mean, there aren't many stallions that actually have a lot of successful sire sons. Regardless of what people think, they're very hard to identify and get. So we'll have to wait and see what he does achieve. Alamosa is certainly doing enough to be very encouraging. But we're certainly very excited about the horse we've got coming to replace him. He's won 4 Group 1 winners. He's probably one of his best racing sons. And look, I mean, we're lucky to be able to sort of push on and supply that sort of horse to New Zealand. I mean, I think most New Zealanders that are breeders have bred to him at some stage or another, and most have bred some pretty successful horses behind.
That's one thing, isn't it, Garry? It's not just about what Waikato Studs got out of O'Reilly, but he's been a great ambassador for the New Zealand breeding industry.
He has. He's been amazing. Once again, his versatility. I mean, he's been Hong Kong Sire of the Year. He's been our International Sentain Award winner on a couple of occasions. Might even do it again this year. That's if Savaville doesn't knock him off. That versatility and that spread. And New Zealand needs horses like that. It doesn't matter if we've got them or anybody's got them. It's sad when New Zealand loses a horse like that. But something else will come along, and always does. And we're sad to lose him. But he is 21, and the only thing we're really grateful for is that we never had occasion or the need to, do something to him to make a decision. Have to make a decision on him. I mean, he's made that himself. I don't think he suffered. I think he's just lay down on the paddock and wouldn't even know what happened to him. So we're grateful for that.
Yeah, great to see him go out so peacefully as well. Mark, just come back to you just about the success he's had in those in the Sire Awards in recent years. We know he had a couple of early wins in each of the 3 titles, and I think in Hong Kong as well. But the last 2 years to sweep all 3 of our stallion titles, just it's an amazing statistic, isn't it? And just shows what he was capable of.
That's certainly right, Aidan, and obviously we were instrumental in officialising what is called the Sentain Award, which is for international earnings, because we are an international industry now, and we thought it was we certainly thought it was it was due to be recognised, and so that's how we went about it, and encouraged it. And it was all facilitated by New Zealand Thoroughbred Marketing and Adrian Clark at the time. But it's probably the award that we sort of tried to win. We didn't put it in place so we could win it, but it was very nice to win it.
Yeah, it sure was. And just before we go, just a parting word on O'Reilly. I know for you guys it's been part of your daily routine over a number of years. Personally for you guys, how hard it will be to not have him as part of that?
Yeah, well, look, Aidan, I think it's probably fair to say this year's been a pretty character-building year for all of us, and he is amongst a lot of others will be very sorely missed, and we're just looking forward to having a couple of champagnes and a couple of whiskies tonight, and waking up with a new year tomorrow and getting on with it.
Yeah, exactly, and of course, Mark also just. Talking about the loss of his own wife, Lisa, it's been a tragic year at Waikato Stud. Not trying to put a horse into the same context, but O'Reilly certainly will be missed, and what a great ambassador he's been, not only to Waikato Stud, but also for the New Zealand breeding industry as well. To Mark and Garry, we thank you for coming on and just sharing your thoughts around O'Reilly as well, guys.
Good as gold, Amy. Thanks for that, and Happy New Year to everyone. Have a safe one.